They say love is blind, but these hookups were absolutely out their mind. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 weirdest WWE romances. For this list, we'll be ranking the most outlandish, bizarre, or otherwise weird fictional romances concocted by WWE Creative for their superstars. The strangeness factor could come down to creepy, cringy overtones, poor chemistry, or bad taste, with one commonality being how these relationships aren't always remembered for how they were handled. Number 10, Tori Wilson and Tajiri. It was during the WWE's Invasion angle when Tori Wilson was put into a storyline relationship with the Japanese buzzsaw, Tajiri. Things actually went swimmingly at first, with the pair possessing a certain opposites attract manner of chemistry. This all changed after the first Raw and Smackdown brand split, however, as Tajiri turned heel and began verbally abusing Wilson. Tori was forced to wear a traditional Japanese kimono by her one-time beau, and was the victim of awkward on-screen fits of jealousy. Eventually the two parted ways, but the memory of how this romance ended remains in the minds and memories of many fans today. Number 9, Lana and Dolph Ziggler. The next WWE romance on our list was almost over as soon as it began. Lana first gained the WWE Universe's attention when she accompanied the debuting Rusev to the ring, but the pair was eventually split up when the Bulgarian Brutes began feuding with Dolph Ziggler. A romance angle was adopted between Lana and Ziggler, but it wasn't long before the real-life engagement of Rusev and Lana put the kibosh on all of this, leading WWE scrambling to fix their status quo. It's probably all for the best, as Lana and Ziggler's on-screen chemistry just couldn't match that of the real off-screen couple. Number 8, Lita and Kane. Lita and Kane weren't strangers to engaging in twisted storyline angles when they were written as a couple back in 2004, but this one was memorable for all the wrong reasons. Actually, the word couple doesn't even fit here, as Kane basically stalked and abducted Lita in some sort of perverse soap opera nonsense. Add in a pregnancy, miscarriage, and then what can only be described as a Stockholm Syndrome-inspired wedding, and you have a romance angle which was poorly conceived from the start and only got worse as it dragged on through the year. Number 7, Trish Stratus and Vince McMahon. Creepy doesn't even begin to describe, and we hesitate to use the word here, the romance angle between WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus and company chairman Vince McMahon. Stratus hadn't yet entered her golden phase as WWE's women's champion and was being used more as eye candy than anything else. She was written into a relationship with McMahon while he was fictionally separated from his wife Linda, who was in a comatose state. McMahon carried on with Stratus, who was young enough to be his daughter, before tossing his plaything aside, forcing her to strip and bark like a dog in the middle of the ring. Gross. Number 6, Dawn Marie and Al Wilson. Dawn Marie made her name as a manager and sometime competitor in Paul Heyman's legendary ECW brand, before making her way to the WWE in 2002. The company was transitioning from the Attitude Era into Ruthless Aggression during this time, but this didn't stop WWE from writing some edgy, bizarre romance angles. Here, Marie was obsessed with Tori Wilson, so much so that she began fictionally dating and eventually marrying Wilson's real-life father Al, in order to get close to the superstar. Then Al Wilson died while having sex on their honeymoon, which led to a series of matches between Dawn Marie and Torrie throughout the year. Whew. We'll let you guess how good those were. Number 5, Beth Phoenix and Santino Marella. Okay, it's finally time for something with a little more heart here on our list, as our next entry is this strange but sweet WWE romance between the Glamazon Beth Phoenix and Santino Marella. The duo were dubbed Glamarella during their year-long run between 2008 and 2009, playing upon Phoenix's dominating presence and Marella's comedy hijinks. What was refreshing here was how the traditional WWE dynamics of male-female relationships were skewed, with Beth possessing the upper hand at nearly every turn. Sure, Glamourella may have ended on a sour note when Marella won a women's battle royale dressed in drag, but we're choosing to remember the good times with this one. Number 4, Tori and Kane. Chicks dig the mask. That was Kane's response when questioned about his on-screen relationship with Terry Runnels, which seemed to happen out of nowhere back in 2002. But today we're focusing on Kane's infamous and even weirder relationship with Torrie. A Beauty and the Beast dynamic was employed for this unlikely couple, as their story served to humanize Kane, whose strengths were quickly taken advantage of by a neurotic Torrie. Of course, the whole thing ended in heartbreak for Kane, as she'd eventually hook up with X-Pac, a decision that would eventually come to haunt her. Number 3, Goldust and Luna Vachon. Dustin's Goldust gimmick was one of the Attitude Era's most iconic personas. The Golden One was also romantically paired with another wrestling icon, Luna. She assisted in making Goldust even more bizarre, if that was even possible, with the pair consistently upping their ante in terms of outlandish promos and in-ring attire. It was a match made in the best kind of hell. Number 2, Edge and Vicki Guerrero. There have been a number of WWE romance angles centered around upward social climbing, but few are probably as well remembered as this one between Edge and former SmackDown general manager Vicki Guerrero. Edge, for his part, lived up to his ultimate opportunist reputation, and his alliance with Vicki eventually led to him capturing the World Heavyweight Championship. Meanwhile, the couple staged one of WWE's traditional, disastrous wedding angles, with it eventually being revealed that Edge had cheated on Vicki with their wedding planner Alicia Fox. Well, they didn't call him the rated R superstar for nothing. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Mae Young and Mark Henry. We've heard about May-December romances, but this was ridiculous. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry was in the middle of his sexual chocolate angle during the company's Attitude Era, when he was written as a love interest to pro wrestling legend Mae Young. Oh, and did we mention that Mae was in her 70s around this time? Honestly, the relationship was kind of endearing at first, although it ended with what is still one of the WWE's most bizarre reveals. Young, who had become pregnant with Henry's child, ended up giving birth to, well, a hand. We don't make this stuff up, guys. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.